Hey guys, my name's Gareth and welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk to you about mindset. Now, if we understand what mindset is, first of all, we can then discover what we need to do with regards to a mindset. So first things first, I want to look at the Cambridge English Dictionary, and in there it mentions exactly what a mindset is or what mindset means. And it states a person's way of thinking and their opinion. So for example, if you're a financial advisor or a banker or something like that, you have different opinions and ways of thinking in regards to money and investments compared to someone who is, just the average person on the street. They may not think about the way they're going to understand how they're going to save, how they're going to spend money, how they're going to invest money, and so forth. And what they might have is a different, a mindset. The way I see it is, if we look at certain people whose mindset is going to be different because they're more experienced in an area from those who are new to it. So for example, I'm new to recording YouTube videos. So my mindset is, let's focus on get this right. And hopefully we'll have a great video at the end of it. And people will watch it. So if you're watching, fantastic. Well, I won't know if you're not. Now, I'm sure, just like myself, you've sat there, you've opened up Google or any other search engine, you've typed in the words mindset, and there's been a plethora of information come back at you from blogs, from tons of websites, from videos like this, explaining what mindset is and how you should go down certain routes in regards to your mindset and certain things that you should do to get yourself out of certain ways of your mindset specifically. Now, I don't believe there are simple steps to changing mindset. It's all about you, yourself, considering what you need to change in regards to that mindset. Because once you're in a specific mindset, which, the reason why I'm recording this is I'm trying to change the way my mindset works. So if you're like me, I spend a hell of a lot of time doing research on certain subjects that I'm interested in. Now, at the moment, I'm trying to focus on changing my mindset and how I can do that. So I would do some research, but my biggest problem is my mindset is focused on that one thing, and I research the hell out of it. So I literally, spend hours, a couple of days sometimes, researching it, trying to get as much information out of it. And actually, because I'm focused in that sort of mindset to do all as much research, I know that much that it's overwhelming, and actually I don't take anything in. So my sort of step here is consider what mindset you're in and where you want to be or to achieve. So I'm recording this at the start of 2022. So we're about mid-January at the moment. And, a lot of people over the Christmas period said, right, I've got my New Year's resolution for 2022. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to be more healthy. So I'm going to eat better. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to, go and read my books. So I'm going to join a library or buy some books online or buy a Kindle or something like that. All these kind of things that people are considering. So learn a new skill, be more efficient in how I work, for example. All these kind of things setting themselves out. For me, I don't understand why people set a New Year's resolution. I understand, yes, start of a year, new tasks, new things to do, fantastic. But why wait? Why do it then? Why wait all that time? So, for example, I'm sure there's a million people out there that will start all these and succeed. But then there'll be other millions out there that will start something, for example, the most common thing is go and get a gym membership, pay for it, go for a few times, and then never go again. And end up paying it for months and months afterwards before they actually cancel and wasting their money. Instead of thinking, well, actually, there's things that I can do to change my life, and why don't I start today? So one of the things that I did, last year, I spent months thinking, what can I do to change my life? And it took me a bit of time to sit down and think about what I want to do, because I don't just rush into something and do it and then realise it's not for me and not change. So I sat down and thought, I'm going to change things, but I'm not going to set New Year's resolutions because I think that's just a waste of time. No one really does achieve what they're trying to achieve. And the main thing for mine was my complete mindset on things. my mind was not really set in any specific way. So we need to be strong. We need to get a strategy together and focus on what we're trying to achieve. If we're trying to change our mindset, what is it we're trying to change about it and how we can do that? So putting things in place. Now, there is no magic formula for doing things like this. Now, I'm not an expert and I'm not going to tell you what you need to do for your mindset. I'm going to tell you what I'm doing, and hopefully that'll embrace and help you do what you need to do. You know, there is no magic formula, as I just mentioned. I would wish I could just click my fingers and hey presto, things would be different, but it's not the case. So one thing that I'm going to put in front of you guys now is, I've remembered the saying for many, many years, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day and we can't do everything just like that. So from this point of view, I'm going to say, let's focus on one thing at a time. Let's change one thing. Doesn't matter how small or how big, let's change that. So maybe, for example, changing your routine. So starting in the mornings, instead of getting up when your alarm goes off, and I bet you most people, their alarm is on their mobile phone. So the first thing they do, and I do this, is I wake up, oh, let's look at social media. So you'll spend 10, 15 minutes going through social media, looking at all the rubbish that's happened overnight when you've woken up, getting up, potentially having a wash, getting dressed, then going down having breakfast. Let's change that routine a bit. Let's say every single morning, I'm going to get up at a certain time. When my alarm goes off, I'm going to get up. I'm not going to look at my phone. I'm going to ignore it. I'm just going to turn my alarm off, go in, have a shower, get washed and dressed, go down, have my breakfast. And again, one of the things that I get a bit waylaid with, you know, for example, put the TV on, I'll watch TV. No, I won't. I'm going to go downstairs, I'm going to have my breakfast, I'm going to start the day as I mean to go on. So I'm not potentially rushing around. For example, if I'm doing the school run in the morning to get my son to school, I'm going to have a set routine where I get up, get ready, and my day's on the way. I'm not going to specifically look at my phone and social media and see what rubbish has been happening over the last 24 hours, or who's posted something on Twitter or on Facebook or on Instagram. So then other things, for example, you know, I want to enhance my energy in my life because my job persists of me sitting down in front of a computer all day. So take regular breaks, and as part of that, making sure that I, you know, keep fueled. Water, have plenty of water during the day instead of eating snacks. So my biggest thing is, we get fruit, it just sits there on the side, goes bad and throw it away. Rather than that, I'll go in the cupboard for a biscuit, you know, whether it's chocolate biscuit, whether it's, you know, packet of crisps or something like that. So trying to do with those. Taking a lunch time at a specific time each day. I know I can't have it, but, you know, arrange it. So for example, at 12:30, stop work, switch off, go and have some lunch. And from that, make sure that I'm not, again, sat there checking social media all day, all through lunch. And then even considering once I've finished, you're going for a walk or doing some exercises. That 10, 15 minute walk, even if it's just around the block, ensuring that my body is switching off from the work. So one of the key things, I mean, on a work day, for example, I'd finish, I'd either sit and watch a bit of TV, or the first thing we'd do is make a brew, come straight back to work and actually sit on my computer. That's what you shouldn't be doing. Your break is there for a reason. You'll not work any faster by going back sooner. You'll probably do less work in that period of time. And then when it comes to the end of the day, making sure that I finish the work that I need to on time. I look at what I've got left to do, make myself task lists and notes for the day after that I've got to focus on and get done. Try not to do other things that, you know, not relevant. You know, do the task in hand, get that done. And then in the evenings, do the same sort of thing, is change that slight routine. So instead of actually sitting there, once you've had tea, you know, in front of the television, just watching TV, consider about reading a book for half an hour. I've just recently, and I'm going to grab this book here, it's right in front of me. I've just taken a copy of this book here. So, you know, this, from my point of view, I want to change my financial situation. So I've just grabbed this book. So the Rich Dad book, or Rich Dad Poor Dad, is a really interesting book. I'm about halfway through. I'm finding it really, really good. And I'll probably do a video on it in the future. But it's actually opened my mind to my financial situation and how I see assets and liabilities and how many liabilities I actually have. So I've taken to that, and I'm not a reader, so that's one of the things I've looked at. Now, also considering, for example, going to bed. So from my point of view, I've got myself in a position over recent months where, my wife goes to bed at a reasonable time. I'll go, "Oh, I'm not quite tired yet. I'll not go to bed yet." But I'll do some reading, or I'll watch a program that I've wanted to watch that my wife doesn't like watching, and I'll stay up. So it gets to 10, 10:30, 11, 11:30, and I'm like, I really need to go to bed. And I'll just check this out on social media. I'll sit on, I don't know, Twitter or TikTok or Instagram or something like that. And it gets to 12 o'clock, and I'm like, I really need to go to bed because I've got to be up in 6 hours or so. I end up going to bed, waking up the following morning. I'm tired, I'm grumpy, I'm probably not the best person to be around. And that's what I should look at changing, because I've noticed that if I go to bed at a reasonable hour, so if I say, right, no matter what, I'm going to go to bed between 10 and past, I'm in bed, I'm going to lie down, I'm going to go to sleep, I'm going to wake up refreshed. So then the following day, I'm not waking up feeling tired and a bit grumpy. I'm waking up refreshed. I'm getting the fuel in the body that I need. I'm going to start the day. And I've noticed just over a few days, I've been more productive because I've got the sleep I need. I'm not tired. I'm not getting halfway through the day and my brain is switching off. So consider how you can change things like your routine. So I've actually set myself 7 things that I'm going to do to help me improve myself. Firstly is my mindset, which I've already just spoken about. Secondly is my body, so enhance my body more. So 1 is fuel the mind, so I'm going to learn new things. I'm going to educate myself in areas that I'm not educated in as much as what I'd like to be. I'm going to, learn new skills and things like that. I'm also going to look after my body more, so eat less, junk food and snacks that I would normally eat, which, crisps, chocolate bars and so forth. And, eat more vegetables and fruit and stuff like that. So the next one is my financial state. So I'm going to improve my financial state. Now, I'm not rich by any means. I wouldn't say I'm poor. I'm just an average person. But I realise that I spend a lot of money on just wasted rubbish, and it goes, into my bank and as quickly out of my bank to, I don't see a return on it, basically. And the next thing is my work. So I'm going to change how I work. Not my job, because I love my job. I'm going to change how I work. I'm also going to consider my knowledge, and also consider 3 other things. Is, my knowledge, I've just mentioned, I'm trying to learn new things, trying to educate myself in areas that I want to. But also that involves learning new skills. And I'm going to look at my training, So a lot of these, if you consider what I'm doing, should all come in together rather than being a single entity. So, when I do one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, eventually all these things will come into one. And I should, at the end of this, realise that all 7 things are being covered at the same time and what I'm trying to achieve. So I think really the main thing to come from this here is we need to set some realistic goals. What am I trying to achieve? When am I trying to achieve it? How will I achieve that? And what happens if I don't? What happens if I do? So, identifying what those are, and I'm going to write them down, and I'm going to sit there and just say, what do I want to achieve? When would I like to achieve it? So it's a silly thing here, but I've always loved how magicians do card tricks and so forth. But one thing, it's not really a card trick, but I've always loved it when I see magicians, especially work with cards. They can throw a card, it spins across the air and goes across and flies no problem. Now, every time I throw a card, it just flops and falls on the floor. So what I want to do is silly. I want to learn how to do that. I'd love to be able to learn how to throw cards across a room. So I'm going to challenge myself to give that a go. And over the next few days, weeks and so forth, I'm going to try and see if I can get a card to fly across the room. So what is really important here? Well, first of all, I think the main thing is we've got to set some goals. Because it's all right saying we need to change these and we need to change our mindset, but how are we going to do this? When we're going to do this? You know, if we can't identify how we're going to do it and what we're going to do, you'll just get stuck in the same mindset. One of the things that works for me is I like to write something down in black and white and actually identify what I'm trying to achieve. And then from that, I go from there. Because if I can see it in black and white, it's there, it's drilled into my head, not only because I can see it, but also it's something to go back to. So for example, if I get stagnated in something or I go off on a tangent, which is something I do regular, I can go back to and go, what am I looking at achieving here? And then trying to achieve that. So as I mentioned, my daily routine, I'm trying to focus on what I can change and how I can do that. So for example, like tonight, I will go to bed at a reasonable hour, and tomorrow, hopefully when I wake up at a reasonable hour, unless my son gets us up any earlier, I will be refreshed and ready to go. So when I actually start work, for example, I will not be in a position where my mind's not in it and not ready for that. Now, because I've already started this, I know how hard this can be, and so will you when you do something that changes your mindset. That initial step is hard. So for example, say you want to start running, and that initial step is to go for your first run. You know, you'll probably be in a position where I'm going, can't really be bothered, can't really bother getting changed into my running gear, getting my trainers on and going out that door. But sometimes you have to give yourself a bit of a kick up the arse and do it. So, you know, putting on those trainers, putting on that running gear, going out that door, even if it's for a short run for 5 or 10 minutes, just running around the block, you know you've gone and done it. That makes you feel better. So, you know, if it's raining, don't just say, oh, I can't do it. Or you had a tired day and you feel tired, you just want to sit on the sofa and relax. Get yourself that running gear on. Go out for that run. Push yourself a little bit. You'll know that you do this, you'll feel better for it. Now, I'm not saying, for example, there is people who will be, yeah, I'm going to go for that run, and today I'm going to do 1K, tomorrow I'm going to do 2K, and really push yourselves. Do it to your own pace. Make sure that you're happy with that. And that's what I'm trying to achieve here. I'm doing one step at a time, getting it into my routine. So my daily routine will be focusing on the things that I'm trying to change as my mindset. Now, what I would say to yourselves, there'll be times when you just like, do you know what, I've had enough of this, I can't do this. So you just throw it out the window. But, you know, let those things just lapse, okay? Think about it, yep, got over that, and try again. You know, in some cases, it won't always work as you want to because it's difficult with life and everything that goes around it. But don't give up. Focus on what you're trying to do and you will change that mindset. I'm doing that, and I'll hopefully document it in a lot of the videos that will come up in the future. So guys, I hope you like the video. I hope you follow me, and if anything, I hope it helps motivate you guys to change that mindset that you are looking to achieve. Last thing before I go, please, will you like the video? And also considering subscribing to the channel. I'm hoping that all the content that I'm bringing to you from today and in the future, you'll enjoy. And, you know, please feel free to drop a comment down in the comments box below. I would love to hear what you think, because if there's something I could have added to the video, fantastic. If you've got anything to say, great. I'll always hit you up with a response. Hope you have a great day, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.